Good evening, everyone. Today, I, Divyanshi Anand, on behalf of Upbeat Journals, welcome you all to today's webinar. Some of you are new today, so let me just briefly tell you about Upbeat Journal. Upbeat Journal is a digital initiative started by Mr. Modwat Singh and Mr. Animesh Parekh, which was later joined by Earth Arora, Ms. Tasmin Sharma, and me, Divyanshi Anand. The aim of the initiative was to spread the wealth of knowledge and to create a platform where everyone can have access to it. We organized a series of webinars on opportunities after law. So today's topic for the webinar is litigation as a career, and we have with us renowned advocate practicing at Supreme Court for last 2 decades, Mr. Vivek Narayan Sharma sir. Sir is an ex-joint secretary, SCORA, and has worked building high reputations of it. He is the president of Society for Criminal Justice and national advisor to Ladli Foundation. Sir is also legal advisor to Indo-Canada Day Commerce. Sir is most popular columnist for Times of India and Economic Times. He has authored the widely acclaimed book Electionomics, Defining the Elections in India. Sir believes in giving back to the society and has argued many pro bono cases to improve the use of society. Sir has been awarded by Star Advocate on Record by Business World magazine, awarded Fit India Legal Icon, FEMIS Award 2017 for Best Lawyer in providing free legal aid to women, and many more awards. Let's not only appreciate but also learn from our guest. Sir, you are a self-made man. We all want to know, how did you start your journey? Your college life, your initial days, everything we want to know.
Good afternoon, everybody, and my congratulations to the Upbeat for initiating such an initiative, which is going to benefit all of us. Means while I say I learn, I internalize myself while I have to speak to you. So that internalization process is really the introspection that I really need to see, and everybody of us really need to look into ourselves to see what we are doing, whether we are doing correctly, whether we need to change a bit. So that internalization process starts at the college time itself. It's school, college time. But by then we do not realize the very importance of the same process, which is achieved by way of means concentration of the mind, balance of the mind, and all this is achieved in turn by way of meditation and various other methods by which you just set up your own equilibrium. So when we talk about the college time, it was a time I was always busy in so many activities, physical fitness. I used to play on guitar and synthesizer. I was a kung fu master. Means I used to play kung fu. Evening time swimming. So the college time was so much so that I was totally busy throughout the day. So many activities were to be done by me, and at the same time I used to get up early in the morning, used to meditate at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. So I was always in that scenario that I was internalizing myself, what I want and whether I can achieve it or not. And if I have to achieve, then what kind of virtues I have to have so that I could achieve those things. So this process is on and on. It works even today with me. So when talking about the college, means I was not a very all the time college going student. I was doing modeling during those years, and I was busy in my own assignments of modeling, going here and there, sometimes in Bangalore, sometimes in Mumbai, and sometimes in Delhi. So more or less, I had my own. I think my voice was reflecting. So more or less, I was always doing something or the other. But at the same time, I kept one habit. All throughout whatever I was doing, I used to read a lot. And I used to read not only my subjects. Means I was a student before law, I was a student of physics, chemistry, maths. So not only law, not only physics, chemistry, maths, I used to read varied subjects. Sometimes philosophy, sometimes geography, history, different kind of subject. Okay, today that means whenever I used to be home, so my time used to be spent in library and reading books. So when you are building up a career, you are thinking of building a career in law. The very first suggestion that I want to give to you is always keep yourself involved in some kind of studies which are not subject-wise studies. All right, you have your subjects, you have your own syllabus to complete, but at the same time, it is very important that you have variety of knowledge of variety of subjects, variety of life, so that any time, any situation that comes before you, you are able to comprehend. And comprehension makes the solution easy. So that's the first thing. So for law students, I most particularly suggest, because you want to build a very good career, everybody of us desires to become famous, everybody of us desires to earn money. And if we do not think that these are the things that we want to, so that means we are denying ourselves, because existence is based on the money that you earn, and at the same time, fame is the outcome of the good work you do. So sustainable fame will come only when you are able to reproduce your good work. Just one good work will not be enough, suffice. You will have to keep repeating your good work. So for doing that at your college level, when you are very beginner in law, what is material? The very important thing that I followed in my life was I was always reading 3 to 4 judgments, sometimes maybe more than that, Supreme Court judgments every day in the morning. So what I did in the initial years of my law practice, I was always doing these judgments. I used to spend my time in library. Means, of course, sometimes you get very good friends to discuss things with. Good friends, when I say good friends, I only mean that their acumen matches your acumen in law, when you're talking about law. So the reading judgments and discussing with people, discussing with those good friends who have good acumen, will help you build up your career very well. So that's a very important advice that I always felt to do for myself, and I feel that it will immensely help you all. So Divyanshi, anything more you want me to speak on this?
Yes, sir. So have you also struggled a lot during your initial years? As we normally say that in law schools, people usually say that how can I choose litigation? If I choose litigation, how would I survive? In this way, I am asking.
Survival and struggle are two things.
So,
see, for example,
elaborate on both.
Yes. I give a simple example. I give an example of a lawyer and put an example of a film actor. So we have got 2 Ranveers in the industry. One is Ranveer Kapoor and one is Ranveer Singh. Am I right? Ranveer Singh, what is the name? There is another Ranveer. Divyanshi, can you help me in this?
One is Ranveer Kapoor and the other I'm Ranveer Singh only.
That guy who had his movie with Anushka Sharma.
Ranveer Singh.
Is it Ranveer Singh? I'm not sure because it's not telling us. Well, whatever. So there are 2
Ranveer Singh.
So now, when we say survival, for Ranveer Kapoor, survival was not a problem. But he had to struggle. For Ranveer Singh, survival and struggle both were there. Can we make out the difference? Survival means I'm out of the field. I do not belong. My family do not belong to the profession that I have chosen to. And at the same time, I am not backed by money that is required to cater to my day-to-day needs. That's where the survival comes in question. So if I am backed by that kind of money where I can have my monthly expenses every day, whether my family belongs to that particular fraternity or not, then in that case survival will not be an issue. So survival will be an issue for those people who are coming from a modest background, not having those kind of knowingness, acquaintances within the profession that they choose to choose for their careers. And on the contrary, even the best of the, we know Ranbir Kapoor is the son of famous actor Rishi Kapoor, who has a demise day before yesterday. So in such a scenario, struggle, we all have to, irrespective of the kind of family we are born into, everybody has to have their own struggle. They have to make their own name. Like Abhishek Bachchan, he had the backup from his family, from his father, but at the same time, he has to build himself. The expectation is much higher when you are coming from a family. On the contrary, when you are coming from a no family, then expectations are not too much higher. On the contrary, whatever you do, you only gain. So you can choose a path. So at the same time, because you had not been in that kind of golden spoon, so then in that case you have to survive, and that survival kicks you with a high energy and high output, which is difficult for the people, those who are having their background. So that fire is much higher in those people who survive and then survive, struggle, and then become famous and become successful. So be anybody, me or anybody from a very robust family, anybody and everybody will have to struggle for what they want to achieve. So it all depends on the kind of goals that you each choose, goal and vision. So if you choose to become a modest lawyer, okay, you can definitely become a modest lawyer very simply, means you don't have to really do too many things too much, and you just become a lawyer. Okay, whether money is coming or not, that's okay. You are just satisfied when the work is coming, and then you are doing that work. You are not really concerned about the outcome of the work. Okay, means you have just prepared yourself and then delivered. That's what the karma that you did. But at the same time, the fire within you will ask you that you want to achieve the result out of this work. A good result comes with best of the innovation and preparing yourself to achieve the best outcome. Best outcome in any work means lawyerly work. It is always that you look for win, that you are looking for a win. So winning is the best outcome for a lawyer. So that fire is much higher when you survive and struggle, and then you go to win. So be it litigation, be it corporate setting, even in corporate setting, when you are sitting on the negotiation table, there are parties, and both parties are represented by different lawyers, different set of lawyers. So in that setting also, you have to have those honed up skills to overcome the defenses, the suggestions, the ideas of the other lawyers. So that survival and struggle will always remain the part of your life, even when you become the best of the lawyer. So I think, as a student of law, I will never shy away from survival and struggle. So be it litigation, be corporate, choose the way, means how do you want to choose, that is up to you. You want you have so many, you have this inkling for fighting litigation, then go for litigation. You want to sit over the desk and do that polished work, then choose corporate work.
Sir, but I have a question. What about getting internships? Because for a person who have family background of legal fraternity easily gets internship, but the one who is just basically from a normal middle class family or normal family, it becomes very difficult for them to get internship.
See, internship is not the end of the world. Internship is just only the beginning. That we are in the college, and then most of the time I don't see, I did not encounter the problem that you have narrated. Nobody had told me this. The first time I am hearing about this problem. So, had it come to my knowledge when I was an office bearer with the INVAR Association, we might have done some beneficial thing for the students of law. So I don't see there should be any problem with regard to finding internship. It is only then that you have to apply. I think you are most likely talking about the internship in the law firm, where as a norm you have to apply 6 months to a year before you want to, for the tenure that you want to achieve. And most of the times the internships are granted, as to my knowledge, to those famous people, sons and daughters of judges and senior lawyers, and I think you are mentioning that.
Yeah, nepotism. I'm basically mentioning.
So it will always be. Though I did not have anybody in my family as a lawyer, and I do have no background, and I had my own difficulties. But at the same time, I do not take them as burden. I did not take them as hurdle even then. So I just kept on finding my way. It's a game. You are having, means you are in a video game where tens of cars are running around you. You have to just check throughout, and then 100 comes more, 100 more would come, 1,000 more would come. So you have to just find your way. We have been given eye and brain. If not best of the company, or the best we have internship, and in such a scenario, then you find a mediocre internship. But internship, I must tell you, internship is not something which makes the career. Career would be made.
Definitely, it's not.
So every system, I accept that portion when you say, and I have heard about to that extent. So I think there is this kind of problem. But there is no way that we can really overcome it.
Okay. So, sir, but how to approach a client when you are very new in the field? How to initially approach to a client, because person don't know you. वो नहीं जानता कि आप.
We do not approach any client.
But for a very startup,
being lawyer, we are prohibited under bar council that we do not have to solicit clients.
I know that, but in a field where no one knows you and you are just a law student who just came out from law school, and people don't know you, people don't know your work. So how do you say that?
See, that's why initial years you spend with those kind of people who are known in the field, who are doing good work, and therefore those people who are their client, they get to know you, and then in the small matters they start engaging you, the place where you are living. A lawyer is a social animal to that extent that wherever he has to move, he is going to gym. There are always two purposes. One is to do the fitness workout, the other is to know people, and to let people know that he is a lawyer. So move as more possible as in the circle around you, so that you could create a tree of people who know you. Then of course they have to then first is knowing, and then they have to have faith. Faith comes with time.
Yes, definitely. So, sir, to be a great litigator, what kind of foundation work should we do at the college level, law school level?
In the beginning itself, it's like imperative that every day we study 3-4 judgments of Supreme Court, most likely Supreme Court. Sometimes you can do judgments also from High Court, National Commission, and NCLT, etc. But always concentrate on reading the judgments, and not only read, have a knack of it, understand them very well, so that you know the concept. What is the reasoning behind coming to a conclusion? So this will help, means in a very parameter, it will help you, whatever kind of client may come to you, when you have this habit over the years, suppose there are 365, 366 days, and you have read 3 to 4 judgments every day. You have completed more than 1200 to 1600 judgments. So that way means you have read criminal judgment, land acquisition judgment, civil judgment, so many different varied subjects, family court judgment. So one would be able to read through so many different kinds of law. And that way, whenever a case is posted to you in a local circle, in your personal circle, through someone, and if you know the possible answer, then the people will become the fan, and they will engage you. And I am telling you one example. Back in time, 2000, I started my practice in 1990. And in 2001, somebody met me and he asked me that there was this matter, this was a very big matter which was being done by somebody very big, very well classed, very well. And this guy had a meeting with me for an hour. We were sitting and chatting, and then he asked me several questions, and I answered to those questions. And then he asked me, "Would you like to take our matter?" I asked him, already this person is doing this matter, and he's a very famous person. So he said, no, we would like to engage you. So in just 2 years of practice, I took this big matter, and I must tell you what that matter was, and it was that big person. So that big person was MC Mehta. This MC Mehta was doing that matter prior to me. So that matter was taken from MC Mehta and given to me. And Mr. MC Mehta was doing this matter. He had argued this matter in Allahabad High Court, and in Supreme Court this matter was pending for last 3 years. And all of a sudden, before I started my practice, the matter was filed in Supreme Court in 98. I started my practice in 99. 2001, this matter was given to me. So this was Ganga Action Plan matter. It was such a big matter at that point in time, means it was making the news, big news, and I did that matter. So that matter was under my control. Why it so happened? Because I could formulate what should have been logically done. And how come that formulation means really occurred to my mind? So that formulation did occur to my mind only because I was acclimatizing myself constantly. Alright, any big problem will come, how I will handle it, how I will solve it. There has to be a method if you are mathematical and you have knowledge. So method is your own, you create your own method. And be strong about it and keep refining your method. But knowledge is something which comes from the outer circle. So keep gaining knowledge and keep refining it by way of internalizing, keep refining your methods. So there are two things combined, nobody can really stop you. Sorry, I'm not getting your voice. Devanshi, I'm not able to hear you.
Is it audible?
Yeah, it's better.
So, sir, do you concentrate only on the given facts of the case, or believe in the findings in depth?
Facts and findings are. Hello? I could not understand your question.
Main focus is on facts or the findings or law, basically.
Both are very important. You can't escape anything. It's like wearing a shoe without the sole, or wearing only sole without the upper cover. So you need both together. So facts are very relevant. A judge once, I'm telling you another example, like So there was this quote of Justice Vikramjit Singh. You all must have heard about Justice Vikramjit Singh. He was very mathematical and very apt in his work. So this was a very big matter which was going against two factions of a railway Mazdoor union, and the court used to be like bombarded by the people of the union from both sides. At that point in time, this was in 2005-06, and at that point in time there was no limitation of clients coming into the courts, and this was a matter in Delhi High Court. It was 2005. So now what happens? This much means these were very big, so many files. There were 10-12 files and 300-400 page files, each of them. So that matter was going on, and I was a briefing counsel to a couple of seniors who were appearing. Abhishek Manu sir were appearing on our behalf. Similarly, on other side, there were other people who were appearing. So in that matter, whenever any factual detail was required by Justice Singh, out of the battery of lawyers, there were around 30 lawyers on both sides, including Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Maninder Singh, Siddharth Luthra, Vijay Hansaria, and several others. So there were battery of lawyers on both the sides, and despite that, any factual clarification and conclusion is to be made whether this fact is correct or not. So Justice Singh used to ask me, because I was always sitting in the front row, so any factual assertion he has to check, then he will ask me, Mr. Sharma, whether it is correct or not. So this was because I was too prompt with the facts. No one was knowing facts better than me in that matter. And I had my charting before me. If you are asking me anything, then I will just take a minute and see my own notes. And my notes were made in such a manner that every fact was there, spilling over in several pages, but then I knew what I have to do. So in a minute's time, every fact would be just very fast. So in the beginning time, the lawyers who are coming in the forte, it is very important for them that they should know the facts very clearly. They are not expected to know law too much.
Yes.
They may misconceive law. They may misunderstand law. It can be understood by the judge. Factual misconduct or factual not knowingness will not help them. So facts are primary. Know the facts of the case, and with the facts of the case, certainly you can apply anything. Then it is about application of the law and application of your own mind into those given facts. I think that answers your question. Divyanshi, again I am losing you.
Sir, how should we improve our drafting skills?
It's a process. It takes time.
With
But
some
very
way.
simply put, clear. Whenever a person used to come to me, I used to use
Yes.
this simple. So simple method is draw a list of date. Draw a list of date from beginning till end. And when you are drawing a list of date, when the client is telling you, okay, first event occurred on 1st January 2020, then second event happened on 2nd January 2020. So similarly, followed by, and there is some annexure to the event of 1st January 2020, mark A1 at there itself, so that you know that you need an annexure here. So chronologically mark the event list of date and mark along with that the annexures which are there in existence. Whether you have it or not, that's the second question. So those annexures, those piece of papers or documents which are in existence, mark them as annexure. And thereafter ask all the relevant documents from the clients whether they have this or not. If they don't have, then just see how relevant it is and what kind of impact it can have for not having it. Because if you are drafting a suit, then you can prepare an inventory, you can seek document from the opposite party. So it depends ki what kind of pleading you are drawing. So in writ petition, more or less in the beginning period, newcomer lawyer will get many writ petitions to argue, okay, there are so many problems in the society. So somebody will ask you, okay, can you do this for me? Okay, I can only pay the expenses. So lawyer will have to think, okay, I'll just do the work on expenses basis. No fees would come. But at the same time, drafting is simply go with the method, and from that list of date, when you deduce that list of date, you get to understand what should be the ground. You get to understand if there is a requirement of a question of law, framing of a question of law, how to frame that question of law. And then at the same time, in the given facts, start finding the judgments. If suppose you do not understand what should be the grounds, what should be the questions of law, then start finding the judgments on those propositions which are required to be applied in this given fact situation. So that judgment, if you are able to find those judgments which support your contention, then in that case, those judgments will give you the grounds and the questions of law. So basically, you have to repeat the language from those judgments. So research is very eternal for the lawyer. Every time one should know how to deduce the result from the research work. Apt research makes a good lawyer.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely, sir. So, sir, how normally अगर किसी भी लॉयर के पास कोई केस आए एंड उसको ये ना पता हो कि उसको पता है कि वो केस हार जाएगा या द मेन पर्सन इज द कल्प्रिट, ही इज द मर्डरर और रेपिस्ट, एंड हाउ so it becomes your moral duty, you'll follow your moral duty or legal duty to take the case, and how will you deal with this case?
It's an interesting question, and always every lawyer faces this question. If suppose like there are lawyers in the legal services and Kasab is on the trial, and then the lawyers on the legal services ask, okay, you have to represent Kasab. So what would you do? You have chosen to represent the government, and you have chosen to represent the clients by the government. Means government, or means those people who are not able to represent through their legal aids program. So then you can't say pick no to those things. But in your personal capacity, you can always decide. If suppose an individual comes, you feel okay, you don't want to do his case, you can respectfully say no to him. Though under Bar Council rules, you should not deny, but at the same time, those rules cannot supervene, make the constitutional rights redundant. So, right to choose. I have a right to choose. I have a right to choose who to represent. So, in your individual capacity, you can definitely do. But when you are part of the legal services, then you are bound to do something unless there is a conflict of interest.
So, sir, but sometimes it happens in a normal civil case that you know that person's case is weak, but you still have some chances, as in 10% chance or 5% chance that you'll win. Then how will you proceed with the client?
I don't agree with you. Nobody knows that this is a weak case or this is a strong case. The strongest case fall, weakest case win. So it's about the preparation. How do you prepare? And new law keep on evolving. Something which was passed 10 years back, you think, okay, it is not covering you. So therefore, you will lose it. But who stops therefore change? The Supreme Court or High Court may pass a new law. So it is all about the perception and the society moving. So 10 years back, there was no requirement that a convict is to be hanged. A convict of a rape case who has like Nirbhaya case we had seen, but post Nirbhaya we had seen a change in scenario. So law keeps on evolving, changing as per the needs of society. So it's never a good case or bad case, it's about the preparation. And nonetheless, you just prepare in some possible way. You give the result to the judge.
So, sir, we have some questions with us from our public. One question is, according to my knowledge, this is a question by Nihiksha Chaudhary. According to my knowledge, fees for lawyers based on experience and standing in courts. How the court decide the salary for a lawyer?
Just repeat.
Fees for lawyers is based on experience and standing in court. So how the court decide the salary for the lawyer?
The court never decides. The fee has to be, if suppose in my private capacity, there is no capping, there is no bar how much I want to charge and how much my client want to pay me. Except for that, means if suppose I am enrolled with the DLSA, then there is a specified remuneration prescribed. Legal service matters and all those other things. And in that case, there are categories wise with payments are made. Fees is paid to the lawyers. The rest, a judge never decides how much a lawyer should be given.
So we have another question that how can we attract new clients as there is no advertisement allowed? How can one establish himself in that sense?
It's a difficult question. Even I don't know the answer to myself.
So how did you start?
See, as I told you in the beginning, just start your, means whatever you are doing, you do, and try to be outgoing. I am an introvert person mostly, but at the same time, I have to start be little outgoing. I thought if I would remain in my shell, I will remain within myself, within my room, within my own encumbrance. Then in that case means people will not know me. It's one thing that you are performing, you are able to perform before the court. It's another thing that people know that you are able to perform. So how do you create a nexus between the two? Either there are people who are talking about you, so it will take a little while. So even for that period, you need a society. So develop a society, meet more and more people in different settings.
Is LLM helpful for a person who is looking for litigation as law school does not provide any specialization in particular field of law? There is a question by one of the viewers.
Law schools are not providing LLB is a general training. Then while you do LLM, you go for a specialization. Definitely LLM can be helpful to the person who want to specialize. Suppose today is a cyber law and somebody just start doing LLM into the cyber. So that person has at least that specialized education for handling the cases pertaining to cyber law. So definitely it aids to your reasoning, but otherwise it is not required. Even without LLM, you can be a good lawyer.
Okay. Another question which one of the viewers has asked is, sir, how far the litigation field is affected from the global pandemic?
It's totally affected right now. There is no court cases which are, of course, no court hearings are going on. It's only with very handful matters which are urgent in nature and some PILs which are being filed. So transactionally, it is not helping at all. No fees are coming except for advisory and otherwise. It's a very small chunk of fees. Appearances are not there for litigation lawyers. Appearances and draftings and filings, these three things are which are material, and these things are not happening.
First case, sir, we want to know your first case as an experience wise.
I told you that was my first case.
With MC Mehta's.
Yes. So my first case was given to me. This was drawn from MC Mehta and given to me.
Okay.
So that was my first case.
And your And your first internship.
Huh?
And your first internship.
It was one. There was only one internship that I did in my time because this was not a requirement as such. But because I belonged from Meerut and I had to do I did not want to practice. So so happened that my friend had a factory there, so I just went for looking for their accounts, taxations, and all in the first year of my law. Then I just got bored. I thought, okay, now I'll look at the litigation thing. So when my father fixed my appointment with a very senior lawyer in Meerut, and then by the time I went inside, by the time I reached outside his chamber, I decided I will never come to Meerut Bar. So I did not go and meet him. So then I decided, all right, I will have to start practicing only in Delhi. So that was in my second year that I was thinking to intern. So third year I found an internship in Delhi. So I was already doing modeling, so due to share some of the known connections, I fixed up my internship. So Mr. Dipankar P. Gupta, he used to be Solicitor General of India then. I had internship experience with him. And later on I also joined him. So that's how it happened. I'm not able to hear you, Divanshi.
So, sir, litigation was your first choice or family's expectation?
No. My family. I will tell you one example. The moment I had done my 12th, so that was time people were either becoming engineers or doctors. And then third option was services of Navy or Air Force. I mean, I definitely wanted to go for Air Force. So the moment my 12th exam had happened, my father asked me, okay, these are the engineering coachings that you have to go every day. So like any other boy, either the people were going for engineering classes and the other people were going for medical classes. So I started going for the engineering classes because my father told me I have to go. So within the first month time, so there was this Mr. ML Sharma. He was a very vastly known mathematician. He had so many books in his name. So he was also from army background. And then there was Trivedi, he was teaching the physical chemistry, and then so many other. So I had 4 tuitions going on: physical chemistry, physics, maths, and another one. So in the first month, I thought I am not engineering material at all. So I targeted the person who was the most reasonable person out of the entire 4 tuitions that I had. So I talked to Mr. Amal Sharma. Amal Khanna means I am forgetting, not Sharma. He was Khanna. So I told him, see, I am not interested in becoming an engineer. My father wants me to become an engineer. So then he asked me, okay, what do you want to do? I said, no, I want to prepare for my Air Force thing, so I want to spend my time in something worthwhile, not in this. So then he asked me, okay, what can I do? I will not come to the coaching class at all. My father comes to you, asks you whether I am coming and how am I regular. Then you just tell him that I am coming. And it is only for 1 month. And within 1 month, I will change the scenario. So he said, all right, because you have come to me directly and you appear true in your connotations. So therefore, he was a reader of body language also. So he said, okay, I'll tell your father that you are coming. And he said, what about fees? You take the fee, you keep the fee. So he said, no, I'll return that fee. When you are not coming, so I'll return that to your father. So I took that 1 month time. So every time my father used to ask me, and I was going to all other tuitions. And only one I skipped, and in place of that one tuition, I had joined something else. So my father used to ask me every night, okay, how is it going? So I started building up. Now, lawyerly minds. I said, it's fine. Shuru mein theek hai, abhi samajh mein nahi aa raha hai. It's going overhead. Chemistry, physics, and Trivedi ki physics जो है वो ऐसे जा रही है. There were so many things to tell. So in 10 days time I started telling him कि इस एक बार में नहीं तो कम से कम 2-3 बार में तो मैं इंजीनियरिंग क्लियर कर ही लूँ. So अब उनके पास थोड़ा सा टेंशन आना शुरू हो गया. Being in the middle class and middle class family has to spend money into this, and then एक साल में बच्चा इंजीनियर बनेगा, 2-3 साल में बनेगा, तो फिर वो करेगा क्या? So I just kept on working over him. In another 10 days time, he asked me, if you will not clear this, then what will you do? मैंने कहा, I don't want to become an engineer. I think I would better prepare for my Air Force sake. And that's how I was able to convince him. I took him to Mr. Khanna. He told him, okay, I had talked to him. I had planned this way. And that's how we all laughed together. And that's how I did it. So I was very clear since very beginning what I have to do in my life. I wanted to be an Air Force guy, but somehow I failed my PABT in 95. So after that I did my law. So I was pretty clear when I was doing anything. I did not want to go into the science field. I was good in arguments and I was good in beating people in arguments. Since my childhood. This was a logical career for me.
We have seen, it's great. So we have a question from one of the viewers that is mooting necessary in litigation or helps in litigation?
See, it's like mock preparations. Before a fight, you try practice on the punching bag. So mooting is as much as that. I hope this is clear, because mooting is something where no actual problem is coming. No actual questions are coming. Even the judges who are judging the rounds, they are not putting the questions for the reason they understand you are a student. And you cannot be exposed to a situation where you are going to be thrashed like lawyers are thrashed by the judges. So similar happens with the punching bag. Punching bag does not give you kick in return. It's only you who is kicking. So you do whatever you do, whether you is making an impact over punching bag or the opponent are two different things. Mooting is as good as the punching bag.
So sir, another question which has come up, कि अगर हमारे को करियर जैसे स्टार्ट करते हैं, so we should practice it with some lawyer or should start from very first beginning, start our own practice after law school, just after.
I have both examples actually. You know, all of you must have heard about Mr. D.C. Singhania. Have you heard? Singhania and Law Company.
We have heard.
Have you heard? You heard?
Yes. Singhania.
So Mr. D.C. Singhania, I happened to work with Mr. D.C. Singhania for some time, and we were close. I used to argue with him a lot. And he was a face of arbitration law in India in the beginning itself. And when the arbitration law was changed again in 96, so he used to be termed as the pioneer of arbitration law in India. He had established a big law firm, which had an office on its own, purchased property in New York, London, various other places, 8 offices in India, all purchased properties. Nothing under. So he had built up a very good practice. And you must have heard about Mr. Titus. So Titus used to assist Mr. D.C. Singhania. So many other people used to assist Mr. D.C. Singhania. So they had all left the company, and then of course so many clients had also gone with them. So DC and I used to discuss a lot, argue a lot, fight a lot. So one day what had happened, he told me, Vivek, I'll tell you my story. So DC had never done any juniorship with anybody. So therefore, it is not as if you cannot get success without joining somebody. But at the same time, there was some elementary difficulty with DC. He was too much fixed. Whatever has come to his thought process, it has attained the finality. It is the truth. So he will not be able to appreciate what you are saying. So you become the frog of a milk. If you do not look the world outside, when you do join somebody, you get the other perspective. I'm not saying better perspective. Your perspective can still be better. You are being the junior does not mean that your senior will be higher. But at the same time, it is not as if that you will always be there. So it has to be assessed, valued, and then only decided whether who is right, who is wrong. Relative scale. All rights and wrongs are on a relative scale. In a given situation, a murder is right. In a given situation, a murder is wrong. It's illegal. So that relativity has to be understood, and there is a universal formula for understanding the relativity. Like your eyes look at the things, there is a blue sky. But at the same time, if you wear the red goggle, the sky becomes red. So it also depends what kind of perceptions you are carrying, what kind of perception other person is carrying. So it is very difficult to be pure. That people are not carrying some preconceived notions and preconceived perceptions. So what we learn by assisting people is only this, that we are able to create more perceptions, better perceptions. We are able to understand what are the varied things in life. It is very important to learn what has to be done. But more importantly, it is important that what is not to be done. So many a times my father used to scold, or my mother used to get emotional with my other family members. So I decided, no, it is not a good thing. So there are things which we learn, and we also decide that we don't have to learn this. So all this will come with when you go in the world outside. So if you remain within the world that you have created for yourself, so you are the right, you are the wrong, you will decide who is how you are. But at the same time, when you come before the scrutiny of others, you would be better challenged, and your perception would have a better strength and flexibility.
So, sir, how many years of experience one should have with another lawyer to start his own practice?
That's a very difficult question, because I could never survive anybody more than 11.
Pardon, sir?
I could not survive anybody more than 11. That is the maximum time I worked with anybody. I overgrew every one of them. And I started independent when I was 4.5 years of practice. So that depends on so there is a logic behind it. Like in the beginning, nobody knows you, and people then have to test cases also. How do you get those cases? What is the feeder? The feeder is your senior. Senior refers the matter to you, or the people who are coming to your senior engages you. So it is for this reason. So I was away from these reasons. I just thought, okay, I was very in a different kind of speed. Sorry to say this, but I was never referred any matter by any of my seniors. I'm not getting the voice.
How was your experience with that?
With?
As in, by practicing yourself as a litigator.
I'm a master of my own. It helps.
Many people admire you and your skills and your fitness regime. How do you manage all this in daily basis?
It's all here. You know how to do it. I always work on solution of the problems that may exist. So people take them as a problem, and then the problem becomes bigger than them. I never allow my problems becoming bigger than me. They are my problem. They are not bigger than me. So I am always bigger than the problem. So that means this analogy comes from the fact that there are always more solutions than the problems. So you just need to look into it. So you decide what you want to achieve and start working over it. And of course, discipline is required. You need to have control over yourself. Unless you have control over yourself, unless you follow a disciplined regime, you cannot do it. So self-discipline is something which is very important.
Sir, how do you think that one should give back to the society?
One should always keep this in mind that we are here. We are not animal. And we human, what differentiates us from the animal is our brain and the ability to speak and ability to help. So these three things are there. These three things have been given to us for the purpose that we should always start helping whenever we can. So this idea should not be based on that, okay, one day I'll become Ambani, only then I'll start helping. So this idea has to be, if I have one rupee, then I can still give that in help to others who is more needy than me. So I'm not saying don't make yourself. I'm not saying that you don't build yourself. Build yourself, but at the same time keep this in mind that with the help you do, like you buy a car, I'm following this example. I had created this example for a very long time. That you buy it, suppose you have cherished some dream. In my time, we had the dream of being BMW. So अब क्या होता है फिर everybody must have read this book, this Robin Sharma's book, Ferrari book. What was this name? I'm forgetting the name.
Monk who sold his Ferrari. The monk who sold his Ferrari.
So now the point is, you have purchased a Ferrari. So after you have purchased it, suppose it got an accident. The vehicle is totally damaged. Now what will happen? Will you feel sad or happy? My question is, will you feel happy?
Sad.
Sad.
When damage is...
means the happiness had been for that period of time till the time the vehicle was in existence. Now it has gone. You will feel sad. So on the contrary, if you help others, the happiness which comes with the helping others will never go away. So any material possession that you have will always have some sadness attached to it. Because it is your belonging. आपकी गाड़ी में निशान मार दिया किसी ने, आपको उसी से दर्द होना शुरू हो गया। तो डैमेज करना तो बहुत दूर की बात है, उस पर किसी ने निशान भी मार दिया ना, वो सड़क पे चलते हुए किसी ने बाइक से हल्का सा लग गया, आप उसी को आपने वो खींच के मार दिया कि मैंने इतनी महंगी गाड़ी खरीदी और तूने मेरे इसमें ये लगा दिया। सो ये जो थॉट है ये यहाँ से आता है क्योंकि हमारे जितने भी हमारे अपनी सेल्फ कंजम्पशन की चीजें हैं, सेल्फ कंजम्पशन के रिलेशनशिप्स हैं, उन सब चीजों में हैप्पीनेस और सैडनेस दोनों साथ साथ चलती रहती है। बट व्हेन यू हेल्प अदर, द हैप्पीनेस हैज कम टू यू एंड दैट पर्सन जिसकी आपने हेल्प करी है वो चला गया, तो वहां पे ओनली द इन्वेस्टमेंट इज ओनली द हेल्प एंड द रिटर्न इज ऑलवेज हैप्पीनेस।
Yes.
And with that treasure of happiness, you can always profit.
That's true. That's completely true.
On the contrary, यहाँ की जो हाउस पर्सनल बिलोंगिंग की जो बैलेंस शीट है उसमें प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस होता है।
Yes.
So that was the idea that I had evolved long back. So therefore फास्टिंग होते थे, दिन में 4 घंटे 5 घंटे उनकी रोज की पूजा होती थी, तो ये सारी चीजें होती थी। तो इट वॉज माई बर्थडे एंड माई फादर सेड कि ओके आज एक काम करते हैं, वहाँ अनाथ आश्रम में जाते हैं, वहां पे उनको खाना खिला कर आते हैं बच्चों को। तो हम लोग व्हेन आई वाज इन 11th क्लास, तो वी वेंट टू अनाथ आश्रम। So I had this observation, I had this problem of observing things all along. So when we went to अनाथ आश्रम, तो conventionally what had happened, हमारे मेरठ में ना बड़ा फेमस था जलेबी, कचौरी और वो ये सारी चीजें बड़ी फेमस थी. तो हम वो ही देसी घी का अच्छे से बनवा के खूब सारे 100 बच्चों के लिए वो लेकर गए. वहां पे हम बच्चों को खाना खिला रहे हैं दोपहर के टाइम में 11 बजे, और बच्चों को मैं देख रहा हूँ कि खाना किसी ने नहीं नोटिस किया. आई नोटिस की बहुत सारे बच्चे ना खाना नहीं चाहते. I was really surprised. उस समय तक मेरे पास भी कोई रीजन नहीं था. I thought to prove it. मुझे लगा कि मुझे कुछ सोचना चाहिए, मुझे कुछ देखना पड़ेगा इसमें, ये इनको क्यों नहीं मजा आ रहा है. मतलब ये था कि हम लोग महीने में एक बार पूरी कचौरी, आलू की कचौरी के साथ मिलते थे, जलेबियां मिलती थी, मालपुए मिलते थे. आप लोग बड़े चाव से उस चीज को जो खाते थे, बड़ी खुशी से खाते थे. उनको मजा नहीं आ रहा है और उनके ना मजा आने का मुझे लग रहा है कि ये तो नहीं. कैन एनीबॉडी थिंक अबाउट इट कि क्या वजह होगी. तो व्हाट आई डिसाइडेड कि खाना खाने के बाद में, उन लोगों को खाना खिलाने के बाद में हम लोगों ने भी वहीं पर खाना खाया. फिर I said to my father कि I want to see their, कि जहां पर ये लोग रहते हैं वो जगह देखना चाहता. तो उन्होंने वार्डन से बात करी. वार्डन ने बोला हम किसी को अलाउ नहीं करते हैं. शायद मैंने हो सकता है किसी से पूछने की भी कोशिश की कि भाई तुम खुश क्यों नहीं हो, लेकिन किसी ने मुझे कुछ नहीं बताया. सारे बच्चे चुप थे. वार्डन ने मना कर दिया कि नहीं, हमारे अनाथ आश्रम के अंदर हम किसी को अलाउ नहीं करते. जो बाहर वाला एरिया था केवल वहीं तक अलाउ. तो बाई चांस बचपन से ही कमिश्नर, डीएम और जो आईजी वगैरह थे, घर पे आना जाना था हमारे. तो पापा ने कमिश्नर ने कहा कि आप एक काम करो, आप तो कहलवा दो. तो उन्होंने कमिश्नर के यहाँ से फोन करवा दिया. वार्डन ने फिर मेरे को अंदर जाने. तो मैं अब अंदर चला गया हूँ बच्चों के. तो मेरा पहला रेवोल्यूशन, और जिस रेवोल्यूशन को मैं आज तक अपनी जिंदगी में नहीं भूला हूँ, मेरी आंखों में अभी भी वही निकल कर आता है. जैसे ही मैं अंदर गया, कई सारे बड़े बड़े हॉल्स बने हुए थे और एक एक हॉल डॉर्मेटरी की तरह से, और उसमें एक एक हॉल में 10-10, 20, आई थिंक 18 से 20 बच्चे सोते थे. सारे भगवानों के, ईसा मसीह के, सबके सब तरह के वो फोटो लगे हुए थे. किसी के लिए कोई, जैसे हमारे घर में तो ये था कि अगर सपोज कल को कोई प्रॉब्लम है, कोई चीज है, तो वी नो कि व्हाट रिलीजन वी नो, वी बिलीव, बट दे हैड टू बिलीव एवरीथिंग. उनका कोई रिलीजन नहीं था. ऑल राइट. फिर मैंने बच्चों से ऐसे पूछा कि अच्छा भाई तुम लोग खाने में क्या दिक्कत हो रही थी. तो इसने बोला कि भैया परेशानी ये होती है, रात में ना पेट में दर्द होता है और कोई दवाई भी नहीं देता. तो जिस आपको होता क्या था वहां पर कि जैसे हम भी पूरी कचौरी लेकर गए उनको खाना खिलाने के लिए, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे और भी लोग उनको पूरी कचौरी लेकर जाते थे खाना खिलाने के लिए. तो उनको तो रोज ही पूरी कचौरी मिल रही थी खाने के लिए. तो उसकी परेशानी ये थी कि रात में बहुत सारे लोगों के जब पेट में दर्द होता है अलग अलग टाइम, तो कोई वहां पे वार्डन उनको दवाई देने के लिए. So that is the first time that I decided that I'll make a change here. And I started going there. फिर मैं फिर क्योंकि कमिश्नर का फोन जा चुका था, कमिश्नर के यहाँ से फोन जा चुका था, की हिम्मत नहीं हुई कि हाँ मुझे रोके. फिर मैं अगले दिन फिर पहुंच गया शाम में खेलने के टाइम पे. अब एक फुटबॉल खेल वहां पर, एक फुटबॉल से ही सारे बच्चे खेलते हैं. आप सोचो कि 100 बच्चे कैसे एक फुटबॉल से खेलेंगे. उसमें सारे बच्चे 4-6 साल का भी बच्चा है और वो 14 साल का भी बच्चा है. तो ऐसे सिनेरियो में बड़े बच्चे वो छोटे वालों को खेलने ही नहीं दे रहे. So then I decided, अच्छा 11th, when I was in 11th class, so that is the first time that I had my own earning. I started taking tuition at joining house में बच्ची को पढ़ाने के लिए. वो बच्ची पढ़ती नहीं थी, मैंने पढ़ाना शुरू करा दिया और मेरे को पैसे मिलने शुरू हुए. तो मेरे को जो पैसे मिले वो पैसे से मैं वहां पे उनके लिए फुटबॉल लेकर आया, 2-3 फुटबॉल लीग और दूसरी चीजें अलग अलग तरह से. तो इस तरह से आई स्टार्टेड गोइंग विद देम, गोइंग टू प्ले विद देम, एंड देन चीजों को अलाइन करना शुरू किया. फिर मैंने उनको वहां पे, आई मेड देम कि वहां पे पका हुआ खाना बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा, जिसको जो देना हो वो आटा दे और खाना ही पर बने. तो आई नीड दिस चेंज एट दैट एज. इस चेंज को करने में मुझे 4-6 महीने लगे. That's the start when I started all this, and उसके बाद तो फिर
I think your story have just changed me from inside, changed my perspective.
एक इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट मैंने नहीं बताई है जो मुझे अभी भी परेशान करती है। क्या हुआ कि जब उसने बताया ना कि रात में जब पेट में दर्द होता है तो कोई नहीं आता, तो मुझे ये याद आया कि हम लोगों के पेट में दर्द होता है तो पूरी फैमिली उठी रहती है। तो मेरी आंखों में वहां पर आंसू आ गए, और वो जब भी मैं उस स्टोरी को याद करता था बहुत लंबे समय तक मेरी आंखों में इस बात को सुनकर आंसू आते ही थे कि उनके पास कोई भी नहीं है, और ऐसे में वो किस तरीके से अपनी जिंदगी को आगे आने वाले समय बढ़ाएंगे। सो आई जस्ट वर्कड ऑन, जितना भी कर सकता था करता रहा काफी समय तक।
Very good, sir. Very good. Sir, on public demand, people are asking, are you still in modeling career and field?
Modeling as well?
No. This was the question on public demand.
I'm thinking if suppose somebody can give me a break, because now there is a COVID thing going on, and I do not know for how long the courts may be closed. So I think I will have to think of something.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us. Thank you so much, our viewers.
And do your best. That's the only thing that I will always tell you.
Sir, your guidance will... hello?
You want to ask something?
Yes, sir. I just one question, sir. As most of the people admire you, so who do you admire, or who is your idol in this legal field, sir?
Oh, I had no idol actually. मेरा कोई आइडिया नहीं है।
Mr. Vivekananda, I guess you are Vivekananda.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I like to read because Vivekananda, his literature I like to read. I really thought, okay, if he would be in my time, then how would he be? I have dreamt about him when I used to meditate. He was my inspiration, definitely. He is one of the most clean soul that I perceive. Definitely. But not in the current time. None in the current time.
Thank you so much, sir, for guiding us through your mesmerizing words. We are honored to have you as our
honor is mine. Always to interact with me. I'm very happy to interact with all of you. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And my best wishes. And means the only mantra that I always believe in, do your best. Your best means whatever best you can bring out of yourself. Always try to do that. And then success will follow automatically. Okay, all the best. Bye.